live on the air. I'm Richard Saile.
This is wild.
I'm your host, Rich Saile, and today we're finally recapping the end of the NFL regular season for 2024. But today, we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to talk college football, both the first round matchups, second round matchups, the picks. I'll give, but I'll save that for the end. Next week will be the playoff picture, my predictions on how it's all going to unfold. I feel like that's the one thing everybody's waiting on is what are my playoff predictions, but I want to wait for the final one to unfold. As you guys can tell, I sound a little under the weather. I kind of felt shitty going into yesterday. And literally I just took NyQuil probably 1 hour ago. So I'm hoping to not fall asleep, but I am dedicated to the Lounge Time community, which brings me to my first and most important announcement. If you guys seen my post on X, we had not one, we had not two, we had 3 episodes shatter all-time records of the most viewed Lounge Times in the history of the show. I think we ended up with 3 or 4. The tweet basically explains it. It was basically a Happy New Year tweet. And I had the link. I had the subscribe thing because, look, man, it's a new year. If you're looking for a new football podcast where you're looking for somebody that's not looking to, like, annoy you with, you know, debates and shit like that, we don't really do that. Although sometimes we might have one just for casual conversation, right? But not to the level of like a First Take or a Get Up or stuff like that. Now, the real OGs know, like, I can't really like stand ESPN certain times. For certain people that I feel like, you know, obviously stick up for people that they've obviously been around a lot, which again, I understand, but I feel like there's a lot of bias in there too. But me, you know, I have some biases. I'm not going to lie about that. But I give you guys the truth, man, in my opinion, right? I know some people like are probably like, well, you're not really honest about Mahomes and stuff like that. Well, the media doesn't hate Mahomes. We do on the show because, A, I'm my own boss of my own show. That's why I like doing Lounge Time. And honestly, if I'm my own boss of my own show, it's great. So, but listen, man, Lounge Time is a kickback football podcast where you could just sit back, put your headphones in, your earbuds, AirPods now people wear. You could even put it, you know, not on speaker, but you could, you know, go full blast if you want while you're kicking back and you're like, all right, you know, let's see, you know, this kid, he's pretty smart at football. Let's hear what he's got to say about some of these matchups. I know this one was a little late today, but as you can tell with the new year, I was a little busy. And I was feeling under the weather. And I was watching the semifinal college football playoff. Not semifinal, quarterfinal. But we're going to start with the college football playoff first round. Indiana, Notre Dame. I watched this game. And if you guys watched well, not really watched, but if you guys listen to the Yammer, my 2 friends were high in Indiana. I was never high in them from the beginning because I was like, they're going to get bullied by Georgia's offensive line. And that matchup never happened because Notre Dame absolutely bullied them off the ball. And Indiana looked like a team that didn't belong. Look, they had a great season. Their schedule was very favorable, right? But when they had to play a big boy in Ohio State, They shit the bed, bro. Kurt Signetti. Look, I know he's famous because he talks shit and stuff like that, right? At the end of the day, bro, you could say, oh, Google me all you want, buddy. The last thing we're going to remember about you is you got shit on by a top 10 team. You got shit on. Okay? You coached scared. All right? You had a good season. Okay? But let me tell you something. The magic carpet ride ended. You ain't all that. Okay? It was cool for a year, but they ain't doing shit going forward. I know they picked up their new quarterback from Cal. Mendoza, I think his name is. Again, I don't think Indiana's going to have the season that they had, like they were this past season. 11-1, a third in the Big Ten. I don't see that happening. Signetti's in for a rude awakening with Michigan recruiting better. Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon. Now, okay, people are going to be like, Michigan's going to recruit better. USC's going to be recruiting better. UCLA is obviously ass right now, but they'll get better. And I still feel like schools like Nebraska are not far off. They just got to put pieces around. But again, at the end of the day, the Big Ten right now is a loaded conference. And I don't see Indiana having the season that they had this past year. So I think, in general, they're frauds. I don't think they're that good. Signetti, you can be a shit talker. At the end of the day, you better back it up. You didn't back it up this week. Not this week. You didn't back it up first round. You got stomped on. You got bullied. They took your lunch money, and then you didn't even try to get it back. You were like, oh, well, okay. Like, I'm sorry. Indiana, frauds. They were never that good. Now people are going to be like, Rich, well, you picked Indiana to beat Notre Dame. I did because, A, I tried to pick upsets, and I picked the wrong upsets, okay? I think the first round had no real upsets. Now, the second round, I think the only one might have been Notre Dame. But that was like a 1.5 or something like that. I don't forgot what it closed out at, but there's been no real upsets. Well, no. Well, actually, if you count Vegas point spreads, Notre Dame over Georgia. But, yeah, Indiana frauds. Now, my thoughts on Notre Dame. I'm actually going to save that for the second round because I want to preview the Final Four matchups because I think those games are going to be fun to watch. Now, unfortunately, I have to cover a game on Thursday. Sucks. I know. But I will find a way to watch it. I will find a way. Going to have to work that out. But either way, hey, Final Four games are going to be great. So, Indiana, frauds. Kurt Signetti, big shit talker, but absolute stinks versus top 10 teams. Google me? Yeah. I'm going to Google how you got spanked by Notre Dame. Absolutely spanked. All right? Let's go to SMU Penn State, which I actually was watching the day that the Texans-Chief game was going on because I wanted to get a look at Penn State, and I root for Penn State a little bit because if y'all don't know, got the Manalapan Brave sweatshirt. For those of you that don't know, one of our football players from high school went to Penn State. And I've always had a small thing for Penn State because I'm like, they've always had players I like, from Saquon to Micah Parsons to our own Saile Blacknall that went to Penn State. And I've always liked them. Now, on my New Year's resolution, if y'all want to know my number one, I need a college football team to complete my sports fandom. Y'all know that I have college basketball, Gonzaga. On NFL, I am New England Patriots. Baseball, I don't really have anybody. I mean, if y'all want to say one team that I like, you guys are probably going to hate me, but I actually have no issue with them. Actually, no. I went to 2 Met games my entire life for baseball, right? So I was like, all right, I'm going to be a Mets fan. But I don't really talk a lot of baseball on the show. I might get one of my buddies that is a huge baseball fanatic to get him on here. I'm going to work that part out. I'm trying to think what else we have. NBA. don't get me started on NBA because everybody moves nowadays. It's so hard to get attached to one team, bro. Like, everybody just fucking moves, bro. That's the one league where, like, I sit back and I watch. Hockey, I don't know much about hockey. Hey, if y'all know hockey, y'all can educate me. I don't mind. I watched Game 7. I think it was Edmonton Oilers against the Florida Panthers. That was a fun game last year, Game 7. I had me and the homeboys watching it. Fun sport. I just don't know shit. Okay, I'm a casual when it comes to hockey. I'm a man enough where I'm admitting that. But hey, listen, I know my uncle's a huge hockey fan. I should have had him talk about it last week, but we're a football show. Maybe I'll have him talk hockey one day. But honestly, I'm gonna save that for like the spring if I get him back for the spring. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. Plus, I'm gonna take a break probably after March Madness because your boy needs a little bit of a break. Because he's got to also manage one more semester, okay? One more semester and then be good, all right? But we still will have videos for you, especially for college basketball. That's why, too, college basketball we will have following the NFL. I will work that part out. But anyway, college football, I'll tell you right now, I am never joining Alabama or Ohio State. Clemson's probably third because I don't like them either because they dominated for so long. I was going to put Georgia 4. I don't have an issue with them, but yo, listen. Hey, Alabama, Ohio State rivals, yo. I don't like them either, okay? Alabama, Ohio State, the rival teams, yo. Make your pitch, bro, because I'm a free agent on the college football market. I need to become a fan, bro. I just don't know who to take, bro. Like, honestly, bro, listen, I joke with my dad about this off camera. I'm a fan of, like, Ohio State's rivals, like Michigan, Penn State. However, I'm not like a diehard, bro. Like, y'all see me wear New England Patriots gear and Gonzaga gear. That's my diehard teams. I need a diehard team with college football. I just don't have that. But hey, man, I'm a free agent on the open market. Feel free to make your pitch, man. Alabama rivals, same thing. What is it? Auburn, Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss. Yo, make your pitch, bro. I mean, seriously. At Lunchtime Pod if y'all want to make a really strong pitch, man. But anyway, back to college football. SMU Penn State. I had to get that out there. SMU got destroyed. Penn State's defense absolutely had 2 pick sixes. That was basically the nail in the coffin. Jennings looked like deer in headlights. Turnovers left and right. Never looked comfortable. Just absolutely wrecked. And yeah, they got spanked also. Penn State's defense is legit. Drew Aller, I think they really ran the ball more. I think they might have given Tyler Warren one score. I'm trying to remember because it was like, I want to say, what are we now? 3 weeks ago now? 2 weeks ago, maybe? But, yeah, 2 weeks ago. But SMU, look, they had a good season, right? They got absolute shit on, dude. But again, when we look at, like, the teams below them, the only one that missed the cut that actually won and that I think legitimately should complain is Ole Miss. Bama, you lost to Michigan without Kenneth Grant, Will Johnson, Mason Graham. Can I continue? Milrose shit the bed. You have no room to complain. South Carolina, who was the hottest team in football, you lost to Illinois. Sorry. You don't have any room to complain. And Miami, Cam Ward checked himself out of the second half, but I'm sorry. Cristobal, he blew it for y'all. You have no room to complain, bro. You lost to Georgia Tech and Syracuse, so that hurts. But you have no room to complain. Ole Miss is the one to complain because they did beat Georgia and thing, but people are gonna be like, Rich, well, they lost to Kentucky, they lost to LSU. Yeah, they lost to Florida. I know, but I'm saying if you want to make the argument that the 12 best teams weren't in, honestly, I don't care. Honestly, I think they had the right teams in. I know that they got blowouts, but again, that's gonna happen. You can't prevent a blowout, bro. So again, I feel like the right 12 were in, regardless of what people want to say. But hey, man, it is what it is. But SMU got absolutely smoked. And Penn State was just clearly better. Clemson, Texas, actually, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said LSU. Clemson, Texas. I didn't watch this game because I was watching Steelers-Ravens. I had Derrick Henry for fantasy. And I'm not happy with my fantasy team. They sucked. Cooper Kupp, T.J. Hockenson, I'm never drafting you again. Anyway, back to college football. Clemson made this a game a little bit. But then Texas, once they got the long touchdown run, that was basically the nail and all she wrote. But I do feel like I'm going to save my thoughts for Texas because I'm going to preview the Final Four. I do think Cade Klubnik has a chance to be preseason first team All-American. That dude, I didn't watch the game, but I've heard good things. The Georgia game opening week, I'm throwing that out because it's first game. Everybody's going to be a little rusty. But I think he's going to have a case to be preseason first team All-American. I think he's good, but I don't think he's great. But I do think he's going to have a strong case to be preseason All-American. And I think he's not bad, but again, I don't think he's anywhere in the class of Shador, Cam Ward, even some of these guys that got drafted this past draft. I don't think he's that good, but I think he's pretty solid. But I think he'll get better as he continues his college career. Dabo's a good coach. I think he knows what he's doing. And I think Cade Klubnik will be fine. But I think they definitely belonged. They won the ACC. Texas, I'll get to in a bit when I preview the games. But, yeah, Texas talent-wise just completely got to them. And when you're in Texas, dude, it's hard place to win. Tennessee, Ohio State. Tennessee got absolutely wrecked on defense. I never was big on Nico Malavia. I never was. I'm not surprised that he stunk. But that defense got shredded. But again, when I look at what happened to Oregon, it doesn't look as bad. But, yeah. They did belong. The problem was the best team, as far as the talent goes, was an 8 seed, and they had to go to number 8. And yeah, you got smoked. Who I like the Vols, right? But I had a feeling, I was like, they have no shot. But yeah, I think Heupel I like. But again, I feel like that their defense absolutely shredded. But again, honestly, when I watch what Ohio State did to Oregon, it doesn't look that bad now, but like they're gonna absolutely smoke Tennessee. And that kid needs to make a big jump, Malavia, if Tennessee's going to be back in the playoff consistently, because I really, really worry about him if he's going to take that step. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Tua, but he's going to have to work on his game. So, first round matchups as a whole, look, you're not going to stop blowouts. But again, I like watching the 12 team. Now, again, is it perfect? No. But we can still fix it. Okay? Conference champions. And I'll spell it now. There's not one conference champ left. Can you believe that? Not one conference champ. All of them in the quarterfinal, all out. Right? And that's kind of crazy. Right? And I know we want to prioritize winning the conference is a big deal. I'm fine, but then, like, I say to myself, like, if we're going the best 12 teams, then why don't we just make it an SEC Big Ten playoff? And then everybody else has their own playoff, Big 12, ACC. Which, again, by the way, my old man, he's, like, old school, where he wants, like, the best 12 in from the best conferences, right? I don't mind the Big 12. I thought they had a good showing with Arizona State against Texas. I did. Boise, again, Penn State, one of the hottest teams rolling. And their losses are to Oregon and Ohio State, which are not bad losses. So, again, I don't think that Boise is... I think Boise, look, Genty was fun to watch. But, again, I don't mind these little schools getting in. I mean... I know we're trying to create that element of March Madness, but it's so hard to create in college football, man. ACC did not have a good showing outside of Clemson. But, again, I think, honestly, this is going to be scorching, but I think it's true. You ready for this? You want to know how you make college football better? You want to know how you determine the 12 best teams? Seriously? Let's see if I get people that like this. I think you have to make non-conference schedules better. Okay? Alabama, no more Mercers, Louisiana Monroes, Western Kentucky. No. You're going to play you're going to play one or two teams from the ACC, a Big 10 team, a Big 12 team, and maybe your best Power 5. Okay? Whether it's Boise, UNLV was ranked. Okay? That's how you make this schedule better. Okay? You make non-conference games better. Ignore the fact that I sound sick. I'm trying not to yell. That's why my voice sounds lower. But you make non-conference games better. Seriously. Look at Boise State, Oregon this year. Boise State almost beat them in Oregon. Lost by 3. Right? But you have to make non-conference games better. Make an ACC Big 12 moment, right? Make them versus each other. Right? Make your Power 5s that are ranked versus some of these Power 4 conferences now. Right? Make it better. Make the non-conference schedules mean anything. These lower fucking Mercers, Western Kentuckys, bro, get them off the schedule for the big boys. I'm sorry. I know they need light work, but I'm serious. You want to determine the 12 best teams, right? Look at college basketball. College basketball has great non-conference games. And you can't really name, well, actually you can. You can name Auburn as the best team, but I'm not talking college basketball. My point is, early on, you know who the best team was. Now people say Auburn because they have won a lot of non-conference games that are big. That's an example of college basketball. But my point is, if you make non-conference schedules better for college football before you lead into conference play, you're going to get an eye test of the 12 best teams. That's what I think we need to do. And if you do that, you get the Power 4s that play each other. You get the teams that are ranked outside the Power 4 to play Power 4 teams. And you say, okay, go to battle. Now, Boise State and Notre Dame is an example where they're two outside Power 4 teams that are playing next season, right? I don't know why Notre Dame doesn't join a conference. I know it's like about media rights and stuff like that. But, you know, Notre Dame's obviously got an independent schedule. They play big teams. I'm not counting them because they actually do play big schools, right? This schedule I know was soft. But, hey, they're in the Final Four. Nothing taken away from them at all, right? But they at least play big boys, right? Boise, you know, now that they went to the Final 8, they should be able to play bigger boys. UNLV, same thing, right? I'm trying to think of other, like, I think Tulane, Memphis, these schools outside the Power 4 conferences, get them on the bigger stage. Let them prove themselves. Let them have fun, right? Let them make a case like, hey, we beat a Power 4 team. We should be in. Our conference may be weak, but if you let us have a great non-conference schedule where we do great, you have a chance to make a case, all right, we're one of the 12 best teams in the country. That's what I think needs to happen. Because enough of the Western Kentuckys, the Mercers, okay, get rid of all that fucking bullshit, please. Okay, I'm just so Arkansas State. I'm not knocking these schools, bro, but like, dude, no. This, if you want college football, the 12 best teams, make the non-conference games meaningful, right? Big 12, you play the ACC 1 week. SEC, Big 10, crossover. College basketball does this, right? Okay, next week, we're going to do Big 10 against ACC. Big 12, SEC, right? Do shit like that. Play like a not a round robin, but you know what I mean, right? Let the Power 4s all play each other. One game you mix in, right? You get a Power 4 team that plays Power 4 team that plays a top group of 5 team. You do that. Hey, man, you let them play. Again, that's my proposal. If I was on the College Football Playoff Committee, that's what I think we need to do to determine the 12 best teams. Now, the people that are experts like Danny Kanell, Dusty Dvorak, right, the real smart college football people, right, they're probably going to disagree with this, but I think, you know what, man? Hey, I think this is what we need to do to make college football have the 12 best teams. And if we get the 12 best teams right because we improve our non-conference schedules, I think it's going to make college football not just fun for the early bit and not the conference games die out, but I think it's going to make it fun full year round, which I think, honestly, it could do if they follow kind of the way I do it. Right now, people are going to say, well, I know, Rich, you know, they make these schedules years and years in advance. I know, but, yeah, we got to do a better job of this, right? Now, there's talk that people say, well, we should do a reseeding once we get to the Final 8. Yeah, but again, my opinion, I would go with my proposal, right? Because you will see, okay, this conference is good. Their non-conference schedule was great. Okay, they might have lost the teams, but are they one of the 12 best teams? That's what the committee's there to judge for. Anyway, let's go to the quarterfinals because I watched this a lot over the last 3 days. First of all, before we get into the quarterfinal, my thoughts and prayers go out to the people in New Orleans. That was a tragedy. The truck driver ran into a crowd, killed 15 people, injured dozens. I had to add this in my sports report. I'm very sad, especially to kick off the new year, man. We didn't need that. But rest in peace to the victims and their loved ones and their families. Such a tragic event. But our thoughts and prayers go out to those because that's an unfortunate, tragic incident that we did not need to have kicking off 2025. But thoughts and prayers go out to those victims and their loved ones. Let's hope 2025, though, is better from here on out, though. But that's not a great way to kick off the new year. So my thoughts and prayers go out to the victims in New Orleans. On a serious note. Anyway, let's go over the semifinal matchups, right, between Penn State and Boise. And look, Ashton Jeanty on the big stage, he had maybe one great run that was fun. Other than that, Penn State's defense, they are legit, dude. Okay? Abdul Carter got hurt, who I was scouting for my Patriots. Abdul Carter was out. They have another kid, pass rusher. He was cooking, dude. And Penn State's got a nice defense. And I feel like they did an awesome job. Tom Allen as a defensive coordinator, they did a good job containing Jeanty. No big plays, tackle, wrap them up. And hey, I'm happy Penn State's in the Final Four playing Notre Dame. Two of my schools that I like going at it, man. I like this. James Franklin, the knock of him not winning the big one, it's still there. It is. But I got to say, to beat Boise, to beat SMU, yeah, they have a favorable path. Yeah, but look, you can only beat who's in front of you, right? And I don't think the losses are bad for Penn State. I don't. But, hey, man, they got a legit chance to give Notre Dame a fun game. And I can't wait to watch that game, Penn State, Notre Dame. I'm going to find a way to watch it. But, yeah, they did a good job containing Jeanty. Drew Aller. I feel like there's times, and I want Penn State fans to see what I'm seeing. Is it me, or does Drew Aller not see the field and he stares at somebody when there's a guy wide open on either the top of the screen, and I'm like, throw the fucking ball, he's wide open. And he just makes an incompletion or he gets a sack. And I'm like, Drew Aller, throw the ball. He's open. If you can't see him that wide open, that's a concern if you're projected to be a high draft pick. Now, I know he's staying at Penn State, but I'm saying to myself, that's stuff you got to know, man, if you're going to be a preseason All-American. You got to see open receivers. You can't just stare or read down, and then you have a guy open, and you don't throw it to him. Penn State fans, let me know if I'm wrong, bro, because I've seen that frequently with him, and I'm like, dude, throw the ball. Throw the flat. Throw the hitch. He's open. Like, how do you not see him? I think he's good, but I say to myself, like, look, man, he's got to do a better job of seeing the field. Because I think at the end of the day, he's the wild card for Penn State. Singleton, the other running back they had, he had a monster game. They got a nice 1-2-headed punch at running game. The receivers are not bad. That Tyler Warren dude, oh my God. Yo, best tight end in college football. That dude is going to be a monster in the pros. Oh my God. Did you see that touchdown catch? He had it in the back of the end zone, right on the right side, man. Oh my God, he just snatched that. I'm like, woo! Man. Dude's going to be a beast, bro. Tyler Warren, you're going to be a first-round pick, buddy. You are really good. If you're not a first-round pick, it's criminal. It's criminal, bro. Dude's first-round talent. That dude's a beast. Defensively, like I said, they did a great job on Jeanty. But, again, Penn State, talent-wise, they're a top 4 team. And this is what's good about Penn State, right? Is like when we get out of the 14 playoff, right? We notice how good Penn State really is. They're a really good team. Now, do I think they should have got a less favorable path compared to Oregon? Yes. But, hey man, the committee made the freaking bracket, not me. I'm just giving you all my opinion. But Penn State, man, happy they're in the Final Four. Bottled up Genty. They didn't let them have. They had one big run, but honestly, it was like a 3rd and 23 or something like that, right? That's all he really had. But hey man, Drew Aller cooked. Their running game cooked defensively. They contained Genty outside of one run, but other than that, man, team, you know, they're a top 4 team. Don't let people say to you, "Oh, we don't have the 4 best teams in." Bro, we wanted a 12-team playoff. Here we go again. We're complaining. We don't have the 4 best teams. Stop, bro. Stop. Okay? But I'm happy for Penn State. Boise, look, man. Ashton Genty, I watched him once, twice. He's gonna be a first-round pick. He had an amazing season, right? But again, this team, Boise, when you play the big boys, bro, you just notice that gap, man, and it happens, right? Where you just get absolutely bottled up. They're more physical than you, Penn State. And it was like, yeah, they just can't generate offense. And that's what happened, man. That's what happened. But Boise, hey, they had a great season, bro. Nothing to take away from them at all. And again, their only losses are to Oregon and Penn State. Boise had a great season. It's just, you lost to 2 big boys in the Big Ten, and that's no shame in that. But Genty, man, you had a hell of a season, right? Nothing to hang your head on. Nothing to hang your head on, bro. Like, keep your head up, bro. You're going to be a really, really good running back in this league. Hopefully you go to a great situation. Texas, Arizona State. I watched this game with my old man. Texas, the start, looked like they were absolutely manhandling them, right? And they were throwing on them, right? And their defense kind of overwhelmed Levitt from the beginning. Scatterbo, he had a couple runs, but nothing big, right? And I'm saying to myself, all right, well, you know, Texas is really good. They had the one quick slant, took it, I think, 60 yards. Then the Ewers throws the touchdown. And I forgot how they get the second touchdown. But Texas has got material, right? But then Arizona State, Kenny Dillingham's squad, starts slowly chipping away. And they start slowly chipping away. Man. And they eventually tied up a ball game, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. Scatterbo throws the touchdown pass, kind of gets them in it on 4th down. Basically the game-changing play. He gets a 2-point conversion. But, look, man, Arizona State had that fun story where they made it a game, right? The Texas kicker missed 2 field goals. The late targeting, look, I thought, honestly, it was a targeting call live. It definitely changed the outcome of that game. But you had overtime to kind of put them away. And you go 4th and 13, you go an all-out cover 0 blitz, and you give up the tying touchdown. You had just enough, you had an opportunity to kind of put them away with one stop. Ewers just made a great throw. And then, you know, again, Levitt throws the pick. It's overtime, right? But Quinn Ewers made the key throws when he needed to, and Texas moves on. Now, let me say this about Arizona State. Kenny Dillingham, you did a great job representing the Big 12, man. You fought. You never went away. You never quit. You kept fighting. You kept going full speed. Even when it looked like you guys were going to get blown out of the water. You represented the Big 12 great. Again, nothing to hang your heads on, bro. Keep your heads up, man. You guys are going to be really good. Again, it's just being able to just recruit great talent. But he's got a really nice culture there. And honestly, with Travis Hunter and Shador going into the draft, the Big 12's wide open, man. So as long as you can recruit and get great players in the transfer portal, Big 12 is wide open almost every year, man. So I feel like Kenny Dillingham, you're gonna get some players, man. All right. But you guys did a hell of a job. I'm proud of the fight that they showed, man. As far as Texas goes now, they have an identity crisis. I don't know what Texas is. They look like they could throw with Bond, with Golden, one way. They had the tight end that caught the second touchdown in overtime. Then they got a running back, Weiser, who's pretty good. What are you, Texas? What are you? Are you a running team? Are you a throwing team? You do not want these problems against Ohio State. Trust me, you don't. And that's concerning because watching what Ohio State did to Oregon and Tennessee, I'm scared it's going to be a blowout. I'm scared it's going to be a blowout. And I'm going to be like, damn, Ohio State's going to win the whole thing. Nah, I don't like Ohio State. But non-biasedly, I'm concerned if I'm Texas. Because I'm watching this defense that I think was second in the nation in points allowed. Scoring defense, I want to say. And you gave up 24 to Clemson. You gave up, I want to say, 31 to Arizona State. That is alarmingly bad. And these guys have NFL talent guys on here. Like, Sark's done a great job building the program. But, yeah, you have an identity crisis. But, again, what are you, Texas? Are you going to throw? Are you going to run? What are you guys? That is very concerning for me when I watch Texas. And I'm scared they're going to get blown up by Ohio State. I really am scared. Again, I had Penn State in my Final Four. I had Texas in my Final Four. I'm going to get to the other two teams who I did have that didn't make it. But, yeah, man, listen. Texas, you got an identity crisis. You got to really figure yourself out. And I'm scared it's in a short turnaround, too. You guys got to figure out what you're going to be. Because you're in for a rude awakening on Friday, next Friday, about how you're going to play Ohio State. You're in for a rude awakening. Y'all got to figure it out. Sark, I like him as a coach. I root for that man, right? But you guys got to figure it out. Your defense needs to go back to playing the elite level it was. I don't think they've been anywhere close to that elite level that they've been. But I'm starting to get the sense that he's going to basically be like, I'm not going to say Jim Harbaugh level choking, but like, I'm scared it's going to be that. Because I don't see a scenario where Texas beats Ohio State. I would like them to, but I can't see it. But they got NFL talent, not just on defense, they got it on offense too. Kelvin Banks, who I want my team to draft, offensive tackle. They've got dudes. They've got dudes. So, Texas, you got to figure out what you're going to be. Ohio State, Oregon, the game I actually wanted to watch. And I did watch. I had a weird feeling that after Ohio State destroyed Tennessee, I had a weird feeling. I'm like, I don't know if Oregon can beat this team. And I'm like, trying to talk myself into it. Can Oregon actually beat them? And I'm like, I don't see it. When they gave Jeremiah Smith the one where it's that sneak route, takes it up the sideline, touchdown. He hurt him with multiple bombs, triple coverage, double coverage. He was just unguardable that day. Oregon's undersized DBs, they got shredded. But, yeah, that dude, and Ohio State's had great receivers come out of that school. Great receivers. Going back to Michael Thomas, it was 10 years ago, right? You've got guys like Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr. recently. Okay? I'm legit trying to think of guys right now. But forgive me, guys. I'm in brain fog mode. So if I forget somebody's big names, Ohio State receivers, don't flip out on me right now. Jackson Smith-Njigba from Seattle. I said Marvin Harrison Jr. Again, they have a factory pipeline of guys that just keep producing, and they look great. And this guy, I'm not saying he's going to be the best of them all. He's got a legit chance because I thought Marvin Harrison Jr. would be. But he had a slow start. This dude is a freshman. Lit up. Number 1 in the country. That's big, bro. Wait. Thanks. Obviously you can tell I'm feeling under the weather. But I'm still pushing through. Yeah, man. Yo, they got dudes. Okay? And I think they'll be fine. I think that, that dude, he's a beast. Abuka, that dude's going to be a late first rounder, I think. That dude's another one. Going to be really, really good. Yeah. Like, honestly, Chip Kelly going there, I mean, it's nice when you pay $20 million in NIL money to freaking try to beat Michigan, and yeah, you couldn't even beat them. But then you're like, oh yeah, here's our $20 million NIL team that finally decided to show up. Yeah, it should. It should when you're in the playoff. Ryan Day, looks like he's got the team that can win it. But again, they got, I think right now, they definitely are the best of the 4 teams left. He's got a great shot to do it. If you all remember, 10 years ago, we had the first 4-team playoff, and guess who won it that year? Ohio State. And I like that team with Urban Meyer, Zeke Elliott, Joey Bosa was on that team. I doubt Denzel Ward was on that team. I think he was on a couple years later. I think Michael Thomas was still on that team. But why am I drawing a blank on like some of these other guys that were on that team? I feel like I'm missing some major dudes. That's how out of it I am right now. But yeah, man, Ohio State, I don't like them at all because I feel like they dominate so much. I just don't like them. But yeah, they're gonna win it all as much as it pains me to say. And they should with that $20 million NIL team. They really should. Oregon, Dylan Gabriel, he's had a good college career. Tez Johnson's a great receiver that he's been, right? They just got outmatched and they picked their worst time to have a bad game. But they are trending upward again. Dan Lanning, I don't think he's a great coach, but I think he's very good. I know Kirby got out-coached. I would put him. I still think Ryan Day's a really good coach, even though he hasn't won a national title, but I think he's got the team to do it. Dabo, Kirby, they're great coaches too. But yeah, dude, I like Sark, but again, Lanning, he's got Oregon getting in the right direction. They're really good, but it's now getting that team that can actually win the national championship. And I think they had a legit team. They just ran into a team that has more money than God, creating a fucking NIL super team. And I think, again, people are like, well, what about these NIL regulations, Rich? Yeah, I mean, listen, they got to work on that, bro. But again, it's going to be so hard to limit that stuff. I don't know if you're even going to get a cap. I don't know, but Oregon, they'll be fine. They'll reload every year. They'll be good. I mean, Gabriel, top 4 in Heisman. Bo Nix had some good years with them. They'll be fine. I think I heard they just got a really good quarterback too, that they either recruited or I think they recruited him. So Oregon, they'll be fine. Don't worry about them. Georgia, Notre Dame. Watched this game yesterday on this couch right here. I had the feeling Gunnar Stockton, with the lights bright, they got scared, Georgia. They got scared. And I think that they got absolutely conservative. Mike Bobo, people are calling for him to be fired at Georgia because he's Kirby's friend. I see why. But, dude, you got to let that man throw. They were basically daring this kid to throw. And he did make some nice throws. He did. But never got the sense that they wanted to let him make plays throwing, and they just wanted to let him run with their running game. And Notre Dame was just more physical than they were. And Marcus Freeman, I liked. He's another one who, like, choked a lot of big games. He's got them playing really great football right now. Okay, he does. But, yeah, the fact that they beat Georgia the way they did, I could argue that's Notre Dame's best win. And see, yo, this is how long I've been watching college football. I remember when Everett Golson was on Notre Dame and they played Alabama in the national title game. My first year that I really paid attention to college football a little bit, not like I am now, was Bama LSU. Remember Jordan Jefferson was the quarterback for LSU? Yeah, I do. Okay? But I'm old enough to remember when Brian Kelly made it with Notre Dame and Everett Golson was the quarterback. And Brian Kelly had good teams. But leaving Notre Dame because you can't win the big game, and Marcus Freeman beat a SEC team in his third year, hats off to him, man. I root for him. I think he's going to be great. He's a former player. He's got him rolling. Hey, man, I hope they make the national title game. Them in Penn State, man, I'm going to sit back, enjoy two teams I like, play it out. I'm rooting for one of them to beat Ohio State. But I doubt it. But Notre Dame, man, I like Marcus Freeman. I hope he does really well over there. But, yeah, I think the way they beat Georgia was shocking. Now, let's get to Georgia, right? Gunnar Stockton, I think, will get better, but he's got to learn to beat teams with his arm. And I think he had some nice throws, as I mentioned earlier. But Kirby Smart's got to make a big decision. Do I keep Mike Bobo? Or do I get an innovative offensive mind? Look at Ryan Day getting Chip Kelly, man. And when he got Chip Kelly, look at him now. They are cooking as great as any team in the country. Yo, they're getting they're making meals in a 5-star restaurant, bro. That's how great they are. I watched Hell's Kitchen. That's why I said that. Great show. Love that show. But that's not the point. Plus, I can't talk myself into food right now because, I'm not feeling great right now. But we'll be fine. But anyway, Notre Dame, dude. I mean, Georgia, listen. They're going to reload every year. They'll be fine. But the fact that their defense, that Jalen Walker dude, I was going to tweet somebody that was a Patriots fan. I was going to be like, I know we're talking Abdul Carter a lot, but Jalen Walker, dude, woo! I like him. I even like Mykel Williams. I think he's a stud too. But Jalen Walker, oh my God, that dude, I want to know where he goes in the pros. Remember that name. That dude's going to be, I think he's going to be a superstar in the pros. That dude is awesome, bro. Like, he absolutely was wrecking Notre Dame early in the game. And then Notre Dame was like, all right, pound the rock, Riley Leonard, quarterback keep, and we're just going to wear down Georgia. And that's exactly what they did. And Notre Dame's got a physical team. But, again, they're gonna have their hands full of Penn State. They are. But it's gonna be a fun show, man. I can't wait to watch this. I cannot wait to watch this. But yeah, man. Yo, they're gonna be really fun to watch, man. But he's got him rolling. He's got him rolling right now. Big win. I'll even go as far to say this. And I love Brian Kelly. I do. I think he's a great coach. That was the biggest win for Notre Dame in probably 20, 30 years. Better than any win Brian Kelly ever had at Notre Dame. And people are going to be like, what? Do you remember when Notre Dame beat Clemson with DJ Uiagalelei? Yeah, it's better than that, bro. You beat Georgia. People are going to be like, well, Georgia had a backup quarterback. I don't care. That team dominated college football for the last 4 years. 4 years. Y'all know what I mean. And Marcus Freeman's team went to the Sugar Bowl and beat Georgia. Huge, huge step forward. Yes, it's better than any win Brian Kelly's ever had at Notre Dame. And I could argue it's Notre Dame's best win in the last 20, 30 years. Really. But hey, man, I root for Marcus Freeman. I root for that team. I like them. But again, I got to find my team. That's why I'm letting the Lounge Time fans be like, yo, Rich, come join us, man. But again, I got to make sure I know that's the team I want to join, bro, because that's my top New Year's resolution list, man. Join a college football team, but I got to hate their rivals, bro. I got to hate their rivals. And I know the two teams I don't like, Alabama and Ohio State. So their rivals, hey, man, make your pitch. But let me preview the Final Four a little bit, right? Actually, I kind of just did that with Texas, Ohio State. Because I'm a little worried about Texas' identity. Ohio State, I feel like they're going to light up Texas, I fear. And defensively, Texas does not look the part. Penn State, Notre Dame, I think is going to be a dead under. Physical. I think it's going to come down to who wins that line of scrimmage and absolutely plays bully ball, because fundamental defenses are going to be key in that game. Great game. But I do think, in the end, right now by the pick, I'm taking Ohio State to beat Texas, as much as it pains me. And then I think Notre Dame, Penn State. Oh, man. I'm a little worried with Riley Leonard trying to beat him with his arm. Drew Aller makes some mistakes, not seeing the field. Oh, man. This shit's tough, bro. Oh. I hate picking like this, man. This is hard. I like these two schools, bro. I'm going to take Penn State to beat Notre Dame, because I'm a little worried that Riley Leonard, when he has to throw, I don't think they trust him to throw it. And I think Drew Aller, Penn State trusts more. Tyler Warren is going to be a problem. I think that Abdul Carter, they're going to kind of limit them, but I still think Penn State's defense, it's going to come down to that offensive line against Notre Dame and Penn State's defensive line. That's what it's going to come down to. Who can win the battle up front? And I just think Penn State's defense can make that key stop or two in the game that puts Notre Dame behind the chains and forces Riley Leonard to beat him throwing. And I don't trust Riley Leonard over Drew Aller to win a game for Notre Dame. Drew Aller, I trust to win more. I have questions about him, but yeah, I think it's going to be Ohio State, Penn State in the national championship game. But yeah, man, so that's my thoughts on the college football playoff brackets. I've had fun watching college a little bit this year. Haven't watched a lot of it, but I said I was going to watch the playoff because your boy's got to scout prospects for the Patriots. Because I want to see who my Patriots can draft, especially with that first pick looming. But anyway, I'm going to quickly wrap this up because we got to get to NFL picks, man. AFC North starts tomorrow. Last week of the season starts tomorrow. Ravens, Browns. I think Ravens win the division. Bailey Zappi starting at quarterback for Cleveland. Ravens 30-13 over the Browns. Bengals at Steelers. Steelers had their way last time in Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's been cooking on all cylinders. Higgins had that monster game. Pittsburgh doesn't look the same, but I just have this feeling they're going to win because I don't trust the Bengals defense to win. I'm going to go 31-27 Steelers over the Bengals. I think it's going to be high scoring, and I love Joe Burrow and company. I do. I don't think they make the playoffs. So 31-27 Steelers over the Bengals. All right, now I'm going to go by division. So, y'all, forgive me. Some of these games are 4 o'clock. I know I'm going to go out of order for time zone. I don't really worry about it. I'm going by division. Patriots, Bills. Josh Allen, starters are resting. New England Patriots have a chance at the number 1 pick. I'm not getting my hopes up because I'm afraid Mayo's going to win the game. And I'm not going to get my number 1 pick. I'm going to be top 4, which I hope doesn't happen. I want that number 1 pick. So, based on what I think is better interest, give me the Bills. 23-10. Bills beat New England. Dolphins, Jets. I think Tyler Snoop Huntley is going to start over Tua. Jets have been playing, outside of the Buffalo game, they've been playing a little better. But I don't know. Aaron Rodgers seems like he's content and at peace with going into retirement. Miami, I'm going to take 26-20 over the Jets. Texans, Titans. Will Levis is starting. I don't know if the Texans are going to play many starters. I'm going to take the Texans out of a guess. Give me 19-13 because I don't know how. Honestly, this might be the worst scoring predictions I'm going to do because I don't know who's starting, how many quarters are going to play. I don't know. But Texans 19, Titans 13. Colts, Jaguars. Lately, the Jaguars have owned the Colts, but they owned them in Jacksonville. But again, I have the feeling the Jaguars are going to beat the Colts. Give me Jacksonville to win 24-17 over the Colts. Chiefs, Broncos. Carson Wentz is starting over Mahomes because they want to preserve rest for Mahomes for the playoffs. Denver, I think, wins. I trust Sean Payton and company to get a win. Bo Nix and company, I think they're going to find ways to win. Chiefs want to just get healthy for the playoffs. Denver wins 17-10 over the Chiefs. Low scoring. They're going to have to fight it out, but I think they hold them to 10. Raiders, Chargers. Jim Harbaugh and company, they're probably going to play people. I got the Chargers winning 27-13 over the Raiders. I think the Raiders will score one touchdown, but I think the Chargers are going to lean on Dobbins, their running game. Herbert might make a touchdown throw or two. And I got the Chargers winning 27-13. Cowboys, Commanders. Washington is locked in for a playoff spot. Dallas thought it was tanking, but they're actually winning. But I'm going to go Washington 28-24 to beat Dallas. I think they avenged that early season loss. And I think that they are in position where they're going to be like, we don't want to play the Eagles. We want to play the Rams or Tampa. And I think that's why they're going to play their starters. So 28-24, Washington beats Dallas. Eagles, Giants. Saquon Barkley's not going to play. Would have been cool to see him play for the record. But I'm going to take the Eagles to win 21-13. I think that if they're going to put Pickett in, if they're going to put Tanner McKee in, they'll be fine. But the Giants, awful. Thank you for beating the Colts, by the way, Giants. But, yeah, 21-13, Eagles beat the Giants. Bears, Packers, I think Green Bay is going to win easily over Chicago. I could see this being a 34-10 type of game. Bears are awful. Caleb's getting frustrated. I think he wants the season to be over with. 34-10, Packers own the Bears as usual. I'm going to come back to Lions-Vikings because that's going to be the last game I pick. Falcons taking on, I want to make sure I have this right. Falcons taking on the Panthers, and I think Atlanta beats Carolina. I do. I know Bryce Young's playing much better, but I think Atlanta is going to win. Penix, not bad. I watched him Sunday night. He wasn't bad. But give me Atlanta to win. Can they get to 23? Yeah. 23-16 over Carolina. Tampa Bay, New Orleans. Tampa Bay, can they get to 27? Yeah. Yeah. New Orleans, 17. Rams, Seahawks. I don't know how much. The Rams are not playing people. Give me the Rams to win. Actually, no, give me Seattle to win. Give me Seattle. I think that they're going to win. Geno and them, and they're going to play with a lot of pride. Seattle, 33-24 over the Rams. I think that's the final score. Cardinals, Niners. Purdy's out. Arizona, give me them with Kyler. I'm going to say 23-6. I don't think the Niners are going to score without Purdy. I don't. 23-6. Cardinals beat the Niners. Vikings, Lions. Oof. I watched Minnesota last week. They're a good team now. Lions need to buy more than anybody, I think. Highest scoring game of the weekend. I think it's going to be just like last time. It was 31-29 Lions. I think it's going to be like that. I've got 37-34. It's in Detroit. I'm going to go with Dan Campbell coming. I'm going to go 37-34. Great game. Lions lock up the 1 seed. Minnesota goes on the road. And I think Ben Johnson's got things rolling. So 37-34, Lions over the Vikings. So those are my NFL Week 18 picks. Next week we'll have the playoff prediction based on my bracket. If I'm feeling better, we'll have a couple guests in studio. But we're going to work some stuff out. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed Lounge Time. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button because we got playoff content y'all don't want to miss, especially my playoff bracket predictions. And yes, I'm going to find a way to not pick the Chiefs, but it's going to be hard. But you guys don't want to miss it. We're going to have guests on for playoffs. And we're also going to have college basketball after the NFL season. Yes, your boy's making a March Madness bracket right on the show when the bracket is revealed, and then once we get all the matchups and stuff like that. So you don't want to miss it. We have college basketball coming out in the spring. Content-wise, maybe after the NFL season, we're going to work some things out. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in a lot of time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I will see you guys next week for the playoff preview on the next episode of Lounge Time. Have a great weekend, everybody.